Howdy. Bit of a different video this time around. I'm seeing a whole ton of videos of people doing like, oh, March favorites, February favorites. And I'm not really a vlog channel. I make vlogs about creating artwork, but I wanted to make something similar. So instead, I wanted to do talking about all of the things that happened in Q1, especially because I can't possibly fit all of everything into videos. But I want to tell you about everything I made in Q1 of this year, which would be January, February, and March. First thing, starting off the new year, and I kind of did this a little bit in December of last year too, was figure drawing. At the DL, Erin used to host figure drawing classes with a sliding scale donation to get through the door. Obviously, I'm not filming while in figure drawing. That would be a huge invasion of privacy and really inappropriate. But you can see some of the drawings I've done. In my BFA program, we had a pretty decent exposure to figure drawing classes and form and building form. I don't particularly need those things, but they were fun to go to. And then also falling back in love with my sketchbook was something I did. A couple of videos ago I posted about how I wasn't feeling very good mentally and leaning into my sketchbook and not putting the pressure to create something I needed to post on TikTok that needed to be in a gallery, and just sketching was also something that was really fulfilling for me. I've kind of moved away from using my sketchbook as I come into wanting to build a concentration of real pieces. I say that very loosely because you know what I mean, but you know what I mean. And then obviously with like the real pieces that I have been working on, you've seen Cherry Girl 1 and Cherry Girl 2. That's their names, Cherry Girl 1 and 2. Those are completed now, and I'll insert pictures here. But I decided that they didn't go as well together as I thought they would. I think I talked about that in probably the last video that I posted. I have so much footage to edit, so who knows. I'll edit it to make sense in this video and the timeline so that it makes sense to you, the viewer. I decided they didn't go so well as a diptych, so I'm making a third one to make it a triptych. This is not a spoiler because what is done in here will have been in other vlogs and I haven't worked on it since. But I started on a third girl. She's at the ugly painting stage, that infamous stage that I always talk about. I just need to do a second layer on her skin and then begin the other elements of her. More footage and other videos to come, so like and subscribe. To go along with my Cherry Girls, a gallery that is actually owned by an acquaintance of mine is hosting a belt buckle show, which I thought was super cool and super Western and super Santa Fe. I am not a 3D artist. Actually, when I was doing my BFA program, the semester that I was doing ceramics was March 2020. So I didn't actually get to take ceramics or do any 3D type of art. I took sculpture, like metal sculpture. That's a series you should watch on my TikTok, is what happened in that metal sculpture class. But I really have always been fond of ceramics and kind of wanted to try it. So I created this belt buckle to go along with my Cherry Girls. Like I said, I'm not a 3D artist, so I didn't want to create something entirely new. And I didn't want to dive into being a 3D artist. I just wanted to participate. I haven't submitted yet. Obviously, it's not finished, needs to be painted. But just wanted to do a little three-dimensional piece to this Produce Aisle series. This is something I will be working more on in Q2. It's already April, it's April 9th today. So Q2 has started officially, technically it started April 1st. And this will be a project that I finish work on and hopefully display in Q2. Something I did is a lot of graphic design work. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree with a concentration in graphic design, and I'm a graphic designer by trade. Currently, I am working as a marketing manager for a company, but I started off as a graphic designer and I have a passion. Graphic design is my passion. So with that, because I'm a marketing manager, I do a whole ton of graphic design stuff for my main job and then also as a side gig. A independent indie filmmaker in Los Angeles reached out to me. He was awesome. This was an awesome project to work on. I've never done a movie poster before. I've made posters and I've made album art, but I've never done a movie poster. So this was really exciting for me. We found each other on Threads, which was really cool. I actually find a lot of side work on Threads. Breads is the place to be. That was pretty exciting, and I'm really excited for it. And then I also had like quite a few other side gigs. I am the graphic designer for Design Core, which is a coalition of graphic designers. I make all of their social media posts. All of those are available on their Instagram if you want to take a look at them. I am a part-time graphic designer for Body of Santa Fe, which is a wellness resort. While I've worked there, I've created some cool stuff for them. And then there was one other thing that didn't end very well, but I got paid, so whatever. I had some pretty big achievements in quarter one. One, most notably, is that at my full-time job, which is at Rocky Mountain, I got a promotion and a raise. I was the marketing admin for the better half of last year, and now I am the marketing manager, and I got a little raise to go with it. I hated the term administrator. I think it's one of those like made up corporate terms. So manager feels a lot better. It also, even though it's just a title, it does make me feel a little bit more confident in managing people. I am the youngest person on the corporate team, so having the title of manager versus admin helps me feel a little bit more confident, especially because sometimes people get a little bit weird about younger female people like being their boss. I don't like that term. So that was a nice little boost of confidence, and it's always good in this economy to get a raise. And then also gaining my side gigs, whether that was at Body of Santa Fe or other little side gigs that I am having around town. I really am stepping into like the side gig culture just kind of recently, and this is really fun. I've had great opportunities come my way, even more now that quarter two is starting and I may be leaving some of these side gigs. Everything's coming to me and leaving me in a really natural feeling way, and that feels really good, and it feels, I feel very accomplished. I do want to note that accomplishments and achievements and how productive you are does not determine your value as a person or the value that's in your career or, you know, personality or timeline or whatever you want to call it. I'm just purely like being excited for myself, and I hope that nobody takes this video and feels some type of way about it. That's not what I'm trying to do. And I'm also not trying to say that achievements are the only way to feel good. One last little achievement that I had was for the better half of quarter one and a little bit into 2024, we were working on for Rocky Mountain an event that we were sponsoring called Sleds and Kegs in Crested Butte, Colorado. I was not working this event. I purely went to go enjoy the fruits of our labor. My boss, John, he put together a beer collab with a local brewery, and Sleds and Kegs was serving the beer. We had a consumption lounge, which was super cool. We had a booth. We had all sorts of deals. It was awesome, and it was really nice to just revel in the fruits of our labor. We put so much work into it, and it was a huge success, and it was great to just play. It's great to play a little bit. I feel like creativity is a cycle. You need to experience and play to be able to create, to be able to experience and play to be able to create. And that's what my next video is about. And if you're not liked and subscribed, you won't see it, so like and subscribe right now. Speaking of playing and creativity, creativeness does not just come naturally. Like it does, but there are a lot of things I do to harbor creativity and to stay creative and to stay inspired, and I want to talk about my favorite things that helped me in Q1 as well. Going back to that video about mental health, something that really helped me in Q1 was finding relief for PMDD. I was recently diagnosed. It's a premenstrual depressive disorder. And it's just essentially you get real fucking upset like right before your period. And I had recently made some changes in my life that amplified those things, and I have an awesome team of doctors supporting me who were able to help me find relief with that, and that has been really good for me. Now my periods are not so debilitating, both like physically and mentally, and that was something I am so grateful to have, because I have less days where I'm just laying in bed doing nothing but wallowing and in pain here or pain down here. So that was awesome. Another thing, something again with like doctors and relief, having some health issues that I'm not going to talk about on here. I don't like talking about it, but one of the symptoms of the things that are going on is that I'm really fatigued like all the time, and I'm also doing things all the time, which doesn't help with the fatigued. But this protein powder in particular has been amazing. It's been amazing. Other symptoms I'm having are unexpected weight loss and hair loss. This has collagen in it, and it's helping like with that hair loss. It's helping with my energy levels. It's helping me stay a sustainable weight. So this little protein thing that my dad sent me has been fucking fantastic, and I again would have more days just laying in bed wallowing, being in pain if I didn't have something like this. Other things, I feel like I feel my best and perform my best at work. I'm in the best mood when I feel my best, and some of the things include chopping all of my hair off. I had hair all the way down to my hips, and cutting it all off has been very gender euphoric for me. And I love my hair now. Also, having super long hair is not for the weak, okay? That shit was tangled and like catching on things and like getting stuck in my belt and my pants all the time. It was really annoying. Hot as shit, but not for me. And then also button-up shirts. I've been really into like collared button-up shirts. This is a men's shirt that I thrifted, and I really like the way I look in button-up shirts. I like how they can be casual, but they can also be dressed up, and the same shirt is so versatile. Something else I really like being and have really been progressing my interest in Q1 is being an environmentalist. My partner is an environmental scientist, and I am like really leaning into being an environmentalist. So when I can find clothing that has more than one use and I don't need to have 20 pieces of clothing to wear to 20 different events, I can just have one and consuming less, that's awesome. Button-up shirts, and then also on like being an environmentalist is being a waste-free household. I just recently finished a chapstick. Has anyone ever finished a chapstick? When it wouldn't pull up anymore, I got like the edge of my nail and like scraped it out and put it on my lips, and then when I couldn't reach my nail anymore, I got a Q-tip to use the last little bit. This is another protein powder container that's empty, and this had Parmesan in it. I'm painting these and I'm going to put propagated plants in them. And then I just found some shelves off Facebook Marketplace that I'm gonna go pick up from Los Alamos hopefully soon, that I'm gonna put more propagations on. The more propagations you have, the more oxygen is in your air. Reusing plastic that already served its purpose pretty much and giving it a new life. And then finding the shelves on Facebook Marketplace instead of buying new ones, because it's better to consume what is already on the planet than encouraging production of new things. So that's my environmentalist spiel, and you'll probably hear more of those moving forward. Other things, I thrifted this book. It's the book of Ichigo Ichi. You may have heard of the very popular sister book called Ikigai. Ikigai is about finding your life's purpose, and Ichigo Ichi is about living your life to the fullest potential. I read this in January, and I feel like I've really taken it to heart. I'm trying to slow down and notice more. The more I notice, the more it makes me an attentive partner, a better friend, a more detail-oriented artist, and happier, to be entirely honest. I would highly recommend this book if you're looking for purpose in life that is not like religion based. And then book for, you know, more like leisure. I really enjoyed this book, Wayward. Zach and I have a little book club where we just pick out a book we want to read together and then we take turns reading it. This was Zach's pick. It's a feminist literature about how women are ostracized from society. All the themes are prevalent throughout the whole thing. It's awesome. It's unfortunately relatable. The ending made me cry. It was so good. And I really hope, I don't know how much of my audience is female versus male, but if I had to recommend this book to anyone, I would recommend it to men. Because this is a fiction book about witches, but it is so real. The themes in it and what the women in this book go through are things that women go through every single day. Read this book! A couple little things. I've been obsessed with the song Fireside by Arctic Monkeys. I've also been obsessed with the song Image by a band name that I can't pronounce. They just like incorporate this feeling of living in Santa Fe. My friend recently came to visit and I put together a playlist of all the songs that remind me of here, and I will link that in the description if you want to listen to it too, because it's just some good vibey like driving through the mountains songs. And then speaking of songs, for my birthday my dad bought me the top 3 jazz albums of all time as vinyls, and I've been putting those on while I've been working, cooking, lounging, and it's just nice to have like quiet, moody music on while I am just enjoying my day. It also helps, I think a return to analog is needed for my generation. It's nice to be not listening to music through my computer speakers or through my phone speakers. It's nice to have like physical media, and you should be consuming physical media. I feel like you're probably getting more of my personality in this video than other videos. I hope you still like me. And then last thing I want to talk about is my goals for Q2. I recently came into the position of having a studio space. More information will come on that soon. It's still being built. This is like a brand new thing in Santa Fe. Well, it's kind of a brand new thing. I'll tell you later. But with the studio space, I can now make larger pieces of artwork. This setting that I'm in is a bedroom in my apartment. I have a fully remote job, Rocky Mountain. I've created an office out of one of the bedrooms, but because I'm in this room all day, either working or creating content, whether that's for here or TikTok or where else, or painting, I'm always in this room, and that's pretty depressing. Some days I entirely forget to feel sunlight on my skin, which is not good. So I'm hoping with a third space that is now a studio, I can have the opportunity to leave the house, the opportunity to engage face-to-face with real people, and then also make bigger pieces of artwork. I want to make more artwork. Also, the rate at which I'm making artwork right now, I'm not very happy with. I want to be creating more, and I want to take better care of myself so that I can have the energy, the patience, and the ability to create more artwork, because I want to create. And when I was filming this video and I'm looking back at what I created, it's mostly graphic design, which is fine, but I want to make more fine art. On that note, I want to be in more shows. So far, in the entirety of living in New Mexico, I've been in 2 shows, which is fine and great, and I'm really grateful for the 2 shows I've been in, but I want to be in more, and with that, I need to really solidify a concentration of work and create more artwork more frequently when that stuff sells. I am gonna be in a show coming up in April, so that's a great start, but I'd like to be in as many as I can be, and I'd like to start getting around a little bit more. I would also like to apply for grants. I have some bigger projects that have nothing to do with painting, to be honest, in the back of my head that I've told a couple of friends about, and I made a prototype of it a few years ago. I need funds to do that. I can't afford to do that on my own, so I'd like to apply for grants because I feel like that artwork, while it has nothing to do with anything else I've shared or shown or even done in the past, I feel called to make it, and I feel like it's important. 2 things I want to get serious about in Q2. One is social media. I want to, if you don't know, I have a pretty popular TikTok account, and I want to monetize it. I don't have enough followers to monetize it. I'm like just barely not there. I want to get more serious about it. I want to create a Patreon. I want to create a Discord channel. I want to make this YouTube channel more engaging for those who watch it. I want to make content that's better, and I want to be able to touch people in a way that I couldn't without the internet. I want to be a source of light. I want to create community. I think community is so important. It is so important. Not just I think so, but it is. And I want to get serious about creating it on Spaces, in Spaces, online. And then also with that, I want to get serious about commission work. I have a couple of side gigs and I have a couple of like one-off commissions here and there, but I want to really ramp up the work. I want to ramp up the time I spend. I just want to do more. I want to do more. And then with the avenues of social media I have, when I can't take on those projects, I want to have a plethora of artists and other creatives that I can hand those projects off to and be somebody who provides community. And then one last thing I want to do in quarter two is read more self-help books like Ichigo Ichi. I have the Creative Act. I've had it for over a year now and I haven't touched it. It's been sitting on this desk back here. I really want to read it and I want to see what it has to say. Also, The Artist Way. I completed The Artist Way this past summer, but there's 2 sequel books that go along with The Artist Way. I'd like to find them if I can. Sure, I can find her books somewhere around, maybe even used, but I want to do those too. I also have a collection of textbooks that I have for graphic design specifically that I would like to actually read and not just have as coffee table books. One last little bit that I want to include in this video is my 2025 mood board. Like I said, quarter one just ended, so I'm reevaluating, like, how true am I staying to the mood board? Where can I readjust and realign to make sure that I am following the mood board? Obviously, the mood board is just like inspo, it's just like generalizations. Life is unpredictable and changes and you're never really in control, but I do want to make sure that I am following in at least some kind of guidelines that I had set for myself.
The first little collage is being authentic, exploring gender, being unapologetically myself, giving myself grace to grow, make mistakes, and not have it all figured out. I want to move towards betterment and self-improvement in a way that is not super detrimental to me and not like a performative or like to-do list kind of thing, but in a genuine wanting to grow kind of way. I'm learning to take up space. Part of that is having these YouTube videos where I can just be myself, and if you watch it, you watch it, and if you don't, you don't. I'm allowing for feelings and I'm only accepting what I deserve. Something I had put in my bullet journal for the year, a goal that I had, was to demote people to acquaintances. And I'm not talking about like just getting rid of people or being mean or anything like that, but the people who really don't serve me, we don't have to have a falling out. I don't have to be mad at them. They can just not be close friends, and I don't get disappointed in their behavior because we're not close like that. The second little bit is travel more. I'm actually traveling way less this year. Last year I was on a trip pretty much every month at some points in the year, every weekend. That was mostly for work, but I did get to experience a whole ton of New Mexico that I wouldn't have otherwise experienced. Like I said earlier, I just got back from Crested Butte, Colorado, and pretty soon I'll be headed down to Silver City, New Mexico, and I know I'll also be in Silver City a little bit later this year as well. Next to the travel more is being an artist. I have a couple of galleries in here. One is Magpie in Taos, and another one is the Truth or Consequences Contemporary. I'd like to get involved with other cities, not just Santa Fe. This is a little ambitious because I am just now getting involved with Santa Fe art scene, albeit like pretty quickly, but I would love to expand and be like multi-city. Ideally, I'd love to get into the Austin, Texas art scene as well, just because that's where I'm from and hometown baby. It would be cool to not only be like multi-city, but it would be awesome to be multi-state. Next is exploring sexuality, what it means to be queer in a quote-unquote heterosexual relationship, gender, exploring feelings in my romance with Zach and our relationship. Just, you know, we've been dating for almost 5 years. We have known each other since we were 18, and I just turned 25 in February. It's been a long time. We've pretty much grown up together, and, you know, like I said, super young, barely not teenagers. And now that we're in our mid-20s, and we've graduated together, moved in together, experienced the corporate world together, changed states, did cats, and definitely exploring how our relationship has changed. Not a lot of 25-year-olds I know are talking about getting engaged or have been in a relationship as long as Zach and I have. What happened to us is that we've grown up and we're not teenagers in love anymore. We're adults who are coexisting together and learning to be an adult. especially with a romantic relationship that has gone on for almost 1/5 of my life now. And the very last thing is moving to the dream life. There is a dream life I have underneath this mood board is the dream life. It was an assignment in the artist way that I did, but I just want to live a very artistic life. I want to be able to support other artisans. I want to be able to afford the eco-friendly versions of things. I want to indulge in a way that is sustainable. So instead of indulging like, oh, I'm gonna have a $500 Shein haul, I want to indulge and I'm gonna buy a $200 linen top that's going to last me for the rest of my life and I can pass down for generations because it's timeless and it's well quality made. That's what I mean by indulge. Indulge in myself and my knowledge. My motto for 2025 is sweet. Essentially, the universe is always working for me, even when I don't think it is, or when I think to myself, why is this happening to me? It's happening for a reason that's ultimately putting me on a path where I'm supposed to be. So everything is sweet. Everything that happens to me is sweet.
I know this was a different video. This is not the kind of content I usually post, but there's no real rules. In my corporate job, we were talking about the wrapping up of Q1 and starting of Q2, and I realized that I've accomplished a lot at work, but I've also accomplished a lot, done a lot, felt a lot, been inspired a lot in my life outside of a corporate job and within one, obviously. And I just wanted to share. So if you're still here at the end of the video, thank you for watching. Back to regularly scheduled content soon. I'm excited to show you what I do in Q2. I hope now that I've expressed my goals, you hold me accountable for accomplishing what I want to accomplish in Q2. And I'll see you in 3 months. Bye!